Good Friday afternoon to you. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. Welcome to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. NFL regular season is underway. The Browns opener just a few days away over at First Energy Stadium. The Browns will take on the Tennessee Titans, and Browns fans have been eagerly awaiting Odell Beckham Jr. in uniform, in a Browns uniform, in a game setting. The wait is down to just a couple of days. Beckham will be on the field against the Titans in the home opener. He talked about being a little banged up still at this time of the year, working out with Colin Kaepernick in the summer, and how excited he is to get the season underway for the Browns against the Titans on Sunday afternoon.
I don't think I can put into words. At the moment, I've been thinking about it even when we was in the preseason games, and for me, when I hear that national anthem, it's like a trigger song. So I don't know what kind of emotions, thoughts, feelings are gonna be running through me when when I hear that. But I'm definitely anxious and excited, excited about playing.
You threw with Kaepernick not too long ago. How was that experience? And how was the experience?
It was cool. I've known Cap for a long time. Even back when he was at San Fran, even when I was training for the Combine, dating like 6 years ago, and we was throwing out there when I was coming into the league. So just to be able to throw with him, and he's just been working. So he was in LA one day and he hit me up, and I was like, yeah, I need to run routes anyway. So we went, we linked up and threw.
How did he look? He can still play ball if he wanted to.
He can still play ball, just if the opportunity presents itself.
Coach Monken was saying before, he's not sure he's seen you at full speed yet. Have the Browns seen you at full speed?
I don't think so. Nah, not really. Just, especially with what I've had going on, I've just been kind of afraid to just open up. I'd rather get to Sunday and open up than to be running around and handle myself before the game.
Has this been kind of normal course for you over the last couple of years? You know your body better than anybody else.
Yeah, this is something I've never had to deal with. It's like an extremely fast car with like a little alignment or something off, and it's like right in the center of what you need. Now the car can still go, but it's dangerous, you know what I mean? So it's just something that I've just been trying to figure out in and out of rehab every single day. Never really dealt with anything like that.
How are you progressing going into Sunday?
It's getting better. It's as good as it's going to be until the season starts. So it's going to be something that hopefully keeps progressing and gets better and not worse. But, it's just something you have to deal with. We got a game Sunday, so it's time to go.
Does this go back to the hip?
Yeah, it's not really, right. Not really to get into the specifics of it, but just something that hinders me from opening up and fully sprinting as fast as I can. So.
You feel Sunday you can open up?
We'll see. I'm gonna be running as fast as I can run. So if that's not 100, I feel confident in myself that wherever I'm at, I'm gonna be ready to play with whatever I got.
So what percentage?
I'm not a mathematician.
How anxious are you just to get out there and play and just stop having to answer questions and the talking and the hype and all that?
Everything, all of that. What you just said. At the end of the day, there's a bunch of talk that can go on, anything could be said, but what happens on that football field, there's not much to say after that. So it's definitely something where I can go out there and just play ball. I'm here to play ball. I'm not so much worried about the extras that I've had to deal with in my past life. I'm just here to play football.
I would say that 90% of you is, really better than 100% of most people.
I'm confident in me. I've played it. I remember one game I didn't practice the entire week, couldn't run even up to pregame because of a hip pointer and swelling, and then I still went out there and played over in London, taped it up, went out there and just did what I can to help the team. So I'm confident in me. Once you get out there, it's a different energy that you have. It's a different adrenaline. I feel like nothing would get in the way of that.
How in sync are you with Baker at this point?
I guess we'll find out Sunday.
Not able to feel that in practice?
We'll find out Sunday.
In Indianapolis, you talked about the plan to get you to this opener, and you were just following the plan. And Do you think it went out perfectly? I mean,
Yeah. I wish that, it could have just completely went away, but it was just something that I've never in 26 years had anything or had to deal with anything like that. It's like unexplainable to me, but Coach Freddie and Sheehan had a very nice plan of what to do, how to do it, and they built me up nicely. So I got to thank them for that, just getting me to this point to where I can go. And like I said, hopefully it just gets better, goes away.
Do you know how it happened?
I don't even know how it happened. Just one day after practice, I was feeling weird. No route or no play, no cut, and it just kind of happened. That's why I tell you, when my adrenaline's going, like I can't feel anything. So.
Odell Todd earlier talked about your mental game, and freddie-kitchens was talking about the notes that you take, and that being such an underrated part of your game. Has that always been a part of who you are, and how does that manifest itself?
I mean, I would have to say I wouldn't have gotten here if it wasn't, for those things. And taking down notes, visualizing, and put myself in the play before it happens is just something, that I've been doing for a long time. So, yeah, it definitely helped me get here, I would say that.
We're talking about how confident you are in your physical skills. How much of a difference do you feel that mental stuff makes out of you?
I feel way ahead of the game mentally, especially right now than I do physically. So my mental is going to push me, my physical state to a different level, and that's really all I need.
You were using the car analogy earlier. Rumor going around the Rolls Royce has arrived. It's here.
She's here. I'm sure you've seen her. They just sent it this morning, and I couldn't really get to it because I was in meetings and stuff like that. So I just had them bring it here.
What's the coolest thing about that car?
That is mine. That is mine.
She got a name?
That's Big Bertha.
Hey, Odell, when you said we'll find out Sunday how you and Baker and sync, is there any reason to be concerned?
No, I just know that I'll see you Sunday after the game, and we'll be. This question that you asked me now, I'll let you decide, and you could ask me after the game.
Hey Odell, you said before that you sense the hunger from the fans for a win, for a winner. How eager are you to just see that atmosphere Sunday for a real NFL football game?
I mean, I was excited for the scrimmage when we were all in the stadium, and I could feel that energy, and I know what it's going to be, and I know that this city's hungry, especially for football, and we have an exciting group that's been put together, so I'm just happy that I'm able to be a part of it, and I do want to go out there and give them my best each and every way, be able to produce and get wins.
There you have it. Odell Beckham Jr. excited for the opener. Just a couple of days away against the Tennessee Titans at First Energy Stadium. 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Well, did you know that the Ohio Lottery has over 130 winners on Ohio Lottery pick games each and every month? With that amount of winning, try pick 3, pick 4, or pick 5 for chances to win up to $500, $5,000, even $50,000 twice a day. Time for us to step aside, take a quick time out here on More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. We continue to talk Browns. We'll hear from another Browns wide receiver, Jarvis Landry. Straight ahead when More Sports and Less Levine, Weekend Winners Edition continues.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. We heard from Odell Beckham Jr. a little bit earlier about how excited he is to get the season going. His best friend and teammate, Jarvis Landry, excited as well. He's ready for the games to count like most Browns players and fans are. Landry talked about this team's chemistry and how he saw the Browns fans react after the Jets win a season ago that ended that long losing streak.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it was good, man. The fan support, by the time I got there, people were there like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, all that stuff, it was great. It was crazy, but it was good. It was good.
Do you think a lot of the excitement you guys have going into this season kind of goes back to that game and just the way that you guys have built momentum since then?
Yeah, that's kind of where it all started, you know. Obviously in the offseason with the moves that the team made, the organization made, but, you know, obviously winning games and creating the momentum that we needed to be able to come into this season. I think not only are we excited, but, you know, Cleveland Brown fans are excited, which it should be.
That momentum, that anticipation, it wasn't necessarily there last year. So what are things that you had to pay attention to this year or tamp down or be aware of?
Well, I mean, I think for us as a team, you know, you look back at a lot of the things that that we didn't do that kind of cost us in some of the games and situations. You know, we just got to play team football, figure out a way that all phases complement each other, and whether it's in the kicking game, running, or tackling, whatever it is, being able to do our jobs.
Jarvis, what is this fresh start doing for Odell? You know him better than anybody else.
You know, it's humbling. You know, it's humbling in the sense, and not only that, I think we have a great locker room. You know, we talk about it all the time. We have a great locker room, so, you know, this kind of feels like a bigger brotherhood, and it's a fraternity, and it allows us to get close to each other as far as just learning about each other, understanding that sometimes you're misunderstood, and people create this perception of you, and, you know, but you get around these guys and, you know, show them who you really are, and they love you for it, they respect you for it, and, you know, we move past it and we just play.
Which is that kind of stuff weigh on him? Has that been hard on him?
No, I mean, I'm sure it weighs on anybody, you know, kind of being alienated in a sense, you know. I think that weighs on any person that truly cares and is misunderstood in most cases. But, you know, we're happy that he's here. You know, he's putting everything behind him. He's putting his best foot forward, and we're excited to see him make plays.
Jarvis, Mark Vickers brought you up a lot this year when he's asked about Odell and not playing with him, and he keeps saying that he never completed a pass to you in a game until you were actually in the game. How long do you feel it took before you guys were really in sync, that you fully knew what you were doing? His first play, you know. No, but, you know, Baker is the guy that, you know, again, as I've been saying, he's very transparent. So, you know, he wants to get on the same page with all his receivers. He has different types of ways of communication with each guy, and again, I think that's the thing that makes him who he is, you know, and it's gonna be a hell of a year.
Jarvis, when you were traded here, you like fit in instantly. Mm-hmm. That doesn't always happen. So how did that?
Now with you didn't like me when I first got here. What? I'm playing. You was one of the ones looking at me when I first got here, like, what makes it going? You the one that asked me the question. You say, why is it gonna be different? How's it gonna be different?
Right.
You see now? You see it coming together? All right.
You're right.
All right.
So, but I'm asking you now. I mean, you fit in so quickly and bonded with those fans so quickly. So, how, looking back, how did you make from Miami to freaking Cleveland?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Just being myself, being around a great group of guys. You know, I think that's been the biggest thing. You know, again, I talked about the locker room. You know, you have a great group of guys in the locker room that can kind of help you with that transition, you know, because it is a tough one at times. And you know, winning solves a lot of problems. Winning makes everybody happy, you know. So that was probably the biggest thing.
Where do you think this brotherhood came from, though? Was it something you guys did together, or something from the coaches, or just the kind of people you have, or?
Just kind of the people we have. You know, I think we have a lot of natural leaders, guys who are just looked at as leaders, you know, and it makes it kind of easy, you know, to be able to talk to guys and learn from guys, guys who definitely have experience. I think when I first got here, we were one of the youngest football teams in the National Football League, you know, and now we have a lot of veterans, a lot of guys that people can look up to, learn from, you know, and that builds the camaraderie as well.
What does that Titans defense do so well to keep the explosive plays from kind of happening? What is it about that secondary?
You know, they're very, very, very talented team. Keep everything in front of them, make tackles. You know, when you have a defense like that makes tackles, you know, they try to just put it on us not to make mistakes. So, to make mistakes. So for us, we can't make mistakes.
You talked yesterday about you guys having one-on-one matchups, and you guys should be licking your chops to have those. Do you feel like you get more of that this year because whether it's Odell or just the rest of the guys around you?
Yeah, I mean, we looking forward to it. You know, we really honestly don't know how teams will play us, but that's one of the biggest things for us is right now is just focusing on us. You know, I think if we focus on our jobs and our tasks, I think no matter what the defense does, you know, we'll be able to still to make plays, you know, and we just got to set our minds to that, and I think we'll be all right regardless.
Hey, Jarvis, Odell told us that he hasn't opened up yet because of what he's dealing with whatever issue he's dealing with. Out there this week in practice, does he look like himself?
I mean, yeah, obviously, you know, he's struggling with some things, but things that, you know, are minor and that he will get over. But, I mean, shit, he's still probably running the fastest in the room right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to tell, but he's a competitor. He's going to be ready for Sunday, and, you know, that's what we're looking forward to.
Well, it sounds like both Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. are ready for Sunday. That's a good thing. Well, we've been telling you about Northeast Factory Direct for quite a while now, and want to remind you just how great of a story this local business is. 20 years ago, Alex started the company out of a small garage in Lakewood selling a single dining room set. Because he had no overhead of the traditional store, he was able to sell it at half the price of a retail store. Alex realized what a great business model that was, and word eventually spread of his incredible prices. Had to pick up and move from the garage into a single storage unit, then it turned into multiple storage units, and so on and so on. He continued to add different kinds of furniture, and before you knew it, Northeast Factory Direct was born. Now they're celebrating 20 years in business, and since it started in a garage, they're having a garage sale event all September long. Not a normal sale, it's more of a celebration, putting special pricing on many of their items, even lower than their already low prices. And it's not just a garage sale with used junk they're getting rid of. It's the same high-quality stuff they always have at lower prices. Go check it out at all of their locations, and you can check out all of what they have at northeastfactorydirect.com. Time for us to take a quick timeout. When we return, we'll preview the Browns-Titan matchup with our Browns expert, Jake Burns. Jake has been breaking down film. He'll have some thoughts on the Browns-Titans matchup when we return. More sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Welcome back to more Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Well, we've heard the Browns players are definitely excited for the opener against the Titans. Time to welcome in our Browns expert, Jake Burns. And Jake, when you look at this, does it concern you that Odell Beckham said, he's still not 100% top speed, if you will?
Yeah, I think anytime you hear that, it's not a welcome thing to hear, because you could have a guy who pushes himself too hard too quick. And, you worry about, talked about the adrenaline sort of taking over and being a big factor and why he can sort of take off right away and be able to overcome some of the pain. But you don't want him to, to push it too hard and then he maybe misses the next few weeks. There's some concern there. He doesn't seem overly concerned, but it is interesting to me that he said it's something he's never dealt with before. So maybe he doesn't understand what his body can handle with it. So it should be interesting. The entire situation should be. They have Malcolm Butler, Logan Ryan, who are good corners. Not anything overwhelmingly good, but they're solid, good NFL corners who, if Odell's not, pushing 100% or doing his heroic endeavors that he does on the football field, it could seem to balance out those scales a little bit.
I know you've done a preview on the Orange and Brown report of this game. What do you see as something that the Browns want to take advantage of offensively? Some of the things you think that will be there for the Browns.
So the Titans defense is just really sound on all three levels. They have Jarrell Casey, who's an all-pro player up front, and Cameron Wake, Harold Landry off the edges. They have Jayon Brown and Rashad Evans at linebacker, who are two very good football players. And then their secondary is really good. It might be the second best secondary they play outside of Baltimore this year. If you have Kevin Byard, who's all-pro safety, one of the best safeties in the game, just got the highest paid contract, at his position. Kenny Vaccaro is a very good, strong safety thumper who can come up and play. And I mentioned the two corners too. They don't have a noticeable weakness. It's just going to have to be sound execution from the Browns. The Browns have some advantages. I mean, the Browns have weapons. They have weapons all over the field. I think this is going to be about which team is best coached and which play caller puts some, their athletes in the best situations to succeed. But as far as you're looking at defenses that the Browns are going to play this year, the Titans genuinely have one of the better defenses from top to bottom. And the Browns' goal should be to get to 24 points. If they can get to 23, 24 points, that's a pretty good accomplishment against this defense, just on pure offensive output alone. And, I don't necessarily see one singular way they can attack, but I think that they can try to isolate some one-on-one matchups with Rashard Higgins, and then obviously allow Odell to sort of flourish in some of the things he likes to do. They just have to, look at what scheme the Titans are playing. What are they going to play coverage-wise? What are they playing most often? And take advantage of, some misdirection things, some play action, trying to establish Nick Chubb, and then, like I said, using some play action off of it. So it's unclear. The tough thing about these previews, and I wrote that today, is that I don't know how either team's going to attack. The preseason doesn't tell us anything, and a lot of what we're doing, predictions, previews-wise, is based on last year, which is thrown out the window, as you saw last night with the Bears and the Packers. You just don't know. So I'll be fascinated to see how the Browns go about attacking this defense. But from a personnel standpoint, the Titans are very good.
When you look at that, and you kind of touched on where I was going with that, the Browns' number one offense really hasn't worked together in the preseason as a unit, but you could probably say that about everybody in the NFL. Is that a concern? Does that throw off timing? Is it just the way it is in week one of the NFL these days?
I think that's the way it is, and it makes unpredictable situations in week one, because you don't really know. You haven't seen these offenses work together. I almost think it's like, Dave, you would say that the 4-week preseason is almost like a prep league for the NFL anymore. You're not seeing the first team guys. It's almost like a development league, a 4-week development league for fringe players and guys trying to make the roster. And then week 1, week 2 are where you try to see if teams can gel become who they're going to be. The season's broken into 4 months, really. 4 week periods there. So you got to really at the beginning of the year try to mitigate as many mistakes as you can, keep those at a minimum. Understand that the timing and some of those best situations, best play calls will probably be a little bit off, as we saw last night with that 10-3 opener. I remember, I think just last year, the opener between the Falcons and the Eagles was a pretty ugly game offensively too. Not every game will be ugly across the league. Some defenses will be in bad shape as well. Maybe that happens at First Energy Stadium, but if you're looking at just the two defenses against these offenses, I would predict a low-scoring game, and a lot of that, like you said, Dave, comes from a lack of on-field live game situation, bonding and gelling as an offense, especially because those guys just don't play in the preseason anymore. You don't want injuries, and that's what everybody's trying to avoid.
When you look at the Browns defense, how big of a concern is Derrick Henry? A guy that wasn't great at the beginning of last year, but boy, late in the year, he was one of the better backs in the league.
Yeah, I thought under Matt LaFleur, who's now Green Bay's head coach, he was their play caller OC last year. I thought they got into a power running game and committed more, bodies into the run game, got away from so much RPO stuff, and really made a commitment to him. Now, understand, Taylor Lewan is out, and Jack Conklin has missed some practice this week. Their right tackle, Dennis Kelly's playing left tackle. Those are two areas of concern, especially with both of those guys. Dennis Kelly as well has missed time this week, with being banged up. And then they did sign Roger Saffold to sort of anchor their interior. I think he's going to play left guard, and then Kevin Pamphile is going to play right guard, but he also has missed multiple days of practice. I don't know. I think the Titans obviously have two really good running backs in Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis, but their offensive line is a massive question mark, and their tackles especially are massive question marks, and that's where the Browns are very effective. So I do expect the Browns to keep this run game bottled up, and if they don't, I would be very surprised, because I just think personnel-wise, that's where there's a pretty clear advantage to me.
You expect Steve Wilkes to get after it and want to pin that defensive line's ears back and get after the quarterback?
Yeah, you want to. I thought interesting thing was Tramon Williams, a former Brown, plays for the Packers, was very vocal last night about after the game, we wanted Mitch Trubisky to play quarterback and beat us. Truly sit in there, make throws downfield to beat us, and that's what you have to do with the Titans. You can't allow them to develop play action. You can't allow them to run the football and put you in a huge, play action pass conflict, because that's where they can take advantage of things. Let Marcus Mariota get out on the perimeter with his legs, make plays on the edge off play action. They start getting in a rhythm, picking up first downs, and all of a sudden they become pretty challenging to stop because they can do a bunch of little things at you. But if you can take away the run game and force, Mariota to throw from the pocket, consistently make throws from the pocket, that is the best recipe for beating them. I don't think that's really up for debate. If you can make him make throws, he's just never been able to do that consistently. If he ends up doing that and beating you, I think you swallow that pill, because that's the best way to go at this team based on where their skill lies. But I think that if you can get in a situation where you take an early lead, and then you have the ability to, from taking that early lead, to sit back and make him make throws, I think that's where the Browns can, and like you said, pin their ears back and let, Miles and Olivier and Sheldon and Larry Ogunjobi get into predictable pass rush situations and use their skill.
Jake Burns from the Orange and Brown Report. We appreciate the analysis. We will check back in with Jake and his insight each week. Jake, we appreciate the time. Want to tell you about Tri-C. Explore your interest and find a program that puts you on the path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu. That's tri-c.edu to find out more. Tri-C, where futures begin. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. When we return, we'll hear from the Tennessee Titans about what they expect to see from the Cleveland Browns coming up in Week 1 on Sunday. More sports and Leslie in the Weekend Winners Edition. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C, they transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. We've heard from the Browns fans. Browns players and fans are excited about this matchup. We've broken down some of the analytics with Jake Burns from the Orange and Brown Report. Time to get another side of the story from the Tennessee Titans. Now, Tennessee has some local ties. Their head coach, Mike Vrabel, went to Walsh Jesuit High School here in the area. Roger Saffold, who will start on the offensive line for the Titans, is a Bedford High graduate, and Dean Pease, Tennessee's defensive coordinator, was the former head coach at Kent State University. All of them realize that the Browns roster upgrades will make the Browns a challenging team, but all are confident they're ready for that challenge, and they're excited about the atmosphere that awaits them at First Energy Stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, it's pretty important. You know, first and second down efficiency is going to be really important in this game because we need to make sure we put ourselves in the third and manageable situations. They have a lot of different things they do with their front as far as blitzes and stunts, movement, picks. You know, those are things that we all need to be prepared for. So it's going to be a great challenge, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, they've got Vernon and Garrett on the edges.
Yes.
Do you see those guys at all, or do they move them around?
Yeah, I had the potential to see them. In certain fronts, they could move them inside, or just with slants and blitzes in general. I could see either one of those guys. At the end of the day, though, it's just all about the technique. You know what I mean? Even though it's different players, the chest doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes shouldn't change, your punch shouldn't change. So that's what we need to focus on this game.
You guys are able to kind of get Derek going, just Derek
Yeah.
into that should help maybe slow them down a little bit. They'll have to think twice about going straight upfield. Correct?
Absolutely, and it'll also alleviate pressure from Marcus. We can put ourselves into good situations, and I think the biggest thing for us is make sure we keep that offense off the field. The best way we can do that is by running the ball.
I see it as game one, man. There's always a hype around game one, regardless of who you're playing. I think it's an opportunity for us to show all the work we put in, how far we've come as a team, as a defense. I'm really looking to all the hype.
Everybody talks about Baker and all the receivers, but I would imagine priority number one is stop Nick Chubb and slow down the running game.
Yeah, they got a great running game. They got a lot of weapons on the outside. And they're good offense. They have great players. They have a lot of talent. I'll give that to them. But, they still got to play us.
Yeah. Baker's a guy that is not afraid to, mix it up and, get a little mouthy, a little trash talking. Do you like playing against quarterbacks like that?
Definitely. I like guys that have an edge, especially in the quarterback position, because that position gets so, compartmentalized, put in a box, that I like when guys kind of branch out a little bit and kind of go against the grain. He's going to talk his trash, but, we're going to do the same thing, so I ain't tripping.
And you guys are also saying this guy trusts his arm. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He's gonna let it fly.
Yeah, watching on film, he makes a lot of great throws with tight coverage. I respect that about him. Some guys are check down Charlie, and they're not gonna. If they see color, they're not gonna throw it, but he'll throw it, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
Does that get the juices flowing when you face a receiver core like they have, and Odell, a big name as well?
Yeah, but at the same time, we've been telling our guys all week, they got to play us too. We got a high standard in our room, regardless of what anybody else thinks outside the building. We were a damn good defense last year, so it's not always us game planning for everybody else. They got a game plan for Dean Pease.
Well, he's got a strong arm. He can throw. Yeah, he's really a good quarterback. I don't know,
you know, it's hard to answer questions about all that stuff. It's just they're a really talented football team. I mean, you add Odell Beckham to anybody's team. Are you going to tell me that's not a big addition, really? I mean, stop and think about it. I mean, that's a big addition. The quarterback's really playing. He's a talented guy. He's a young guy. So, I mean, they're just a talented football team.
How cognizant do you have to be of Vernon and Garrett, their pass rush, and maybe get the ball out a little quicker to help your offensive linemen, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for us as quarterbacks, it's on us to make quick decisions. And, you know, if things break down, we got to do our best to make the most of it. But, you know, it's hard for me to say I'm gonna go up there every snap and key them. I think for us, we have to feel the rush and keep our eyes downfield.
You've played in your share of big games. This is going to be a particularly hyped up environment. How do you kind of manage the team and yourself heading into an environment like that?
Well, one, just enjoy it. I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere, and then secondly, don't allow the moment to be too big. Just continue to do your job. Focus on what the coaches are asking you. Focus on what we're trying to do, and from there, just go play.
How comfortable are you in this offense, and are you looking forward to finally being able to put all these pieces together and go out and do it for a whole game? Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel great, and I'm just excited as much as anybody else to go out there with our guys. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and we can't wait to play.
How much first opening game come with a lot of uncertainty about what to expect on the other side? As much as you prepare, you expect to see some things you have not seen?
No doubt. I mean, they've had an entire offseason to kind of talk about this, and, you know, we just have to be prepared. No matter what, our coaches are going to do their best to give us every look that they can, but there's going to be something different, and we understand that. So just being able to communicate when we come off the sidelines and find ways to adjust.
Marcus Mariota and the Titans getting ready for the Browns as they kick off the regular season over at First Energy Stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock. I want to tell you about Northeast Factory Direct. We've been telling you about them for quite a while now, and we want to remind you of a great story that this local business is. 20 years ago, Alex started the company out of a small garage in Lakewood selling a single dining room set because he had no overhead costs of a traditional store. He was able to sell it at about half the price. He realized how great this business model was, and eventually word spread about his incredible prices. He had to pack up and move from a garage to a single storage unit, then it turned into multiple storage units and so on. He added all different kinds of furniture. Before you knew it, Northeast Factory Direct was born. Now we want to tell you, after celebrating 20 years in business, and since it all started in a garage, they're having a garage sale all September long. Not a normal sale, it's more of a celebration. They're putting special pricing on many items, even lower than their already low prices. And it's not a garage sale with used junk kind of stuff they're trying to get rid of. It's the same high quality stuff that they've always had, just at lower prices. Check out all the locations all month long. You can also head to northeastfactorydirect.com. Well, coming up, Fowler's 5, legalized sports wagering just an hour from downtown Cleveland at Presque Isle Downs and Casino, the Bet America Sportsbook. Ryan Fowler will join us with Fowler's 5 picks to take a look at. That's coming up on More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Stay with us.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. We have reached that time in the show where we're going to talk a little bit about point spreads. Want to remind you, legalized sports wagering at Presque Isle Downs and Casino and the Bet America Sportsbook, a little over an hour away from downtown Cleveland in Erie, Pennsylvania. And we welcome in our point spreads expert, Ryan Fowler. Ryan, I'm guessing you didn't bet those 5 Super Bowl prop bets that you hit because you could have retired a very wealthy man. So
yeah, you wouldn't have seen me.
We appreciate the time very much. Let's get this one started with the Browns and Titans. Browns 5.5-point favorites. What are you thinking with this one?
Stay away, and here's why. When you go back to the preseason of the NFL has really become a wash, right? I mean, everybody's protecting their own players. You really don't get a total sense of what either team is. The Titans look sluggish against the Steelers. The Browns look a little sluggish in their last tune-up against the Buccaneers. Plus, when you look at this matchup, again, I know all the hype in the world is surrounding the Browns right now to not only make the playoffs, but make the AFC Championship and maybe even go to a Super Bowl. Let's pump the brakes on that. This 5.5-point spread is bait, trying to get those guys to make a move on the Browns. I think we hold off this week. We gather some data because that defense, what do we need to know about that defense? It was one of the worst last year. How improved is it? How good are Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham in a live game? The Titans defense, very, very sneaky. Do not sleep on the Titans in this match.
Again, Presque Isle, Downs and Casino, the Fowler's 5. Let's talk a little bit about another AFC North team, Cincinnati. Cincinnati and Seattle. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, this is a tough matchup for the Bengals to start off the season. They are one of the favorites to finish with the league's worst record by December. So let's look at how this game could shake out. Both teams are going to want to run the football. The Seattle Seahawks were the leading team in rushing last year. What does rushing mean? It means a running clock, less scoring opportunities. And the Bengals, in order to hang around with the Seahawks, are going to have to control the clock. So they're going to run the ball with Joe Mixon. They don't have A.J. Green. He's out for a few weeks with an injury. So I like the under 44 here to hit. Plus, if anybody watched Thursday night's game with Packers and Bears when the over-under was 46 and we got 10, not great. So let's slow on that one and take a look at the under 44 in the Seahawks-Bengals.
Now, again, Ryan Fowler hit Julian Edelman as your MVP during the Super Bowl. So this one's a little bit of a prop bet, and it involves the Falcons and the Vikings. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. When Julio Jones spoke to reporters on Thursday, he kind of hinted at the fact that he might hold out the start of the regular season if he doesn't have that new contract. So this is all on Julio Jones actually playing in the game, obviously. But again, there's been enough holdouts in NFL lore right now. Let's pray Julio plays because he's one of the most elite wide receivers in the game. He's got what Pro Football Focus says is the top defensive back matchup. He's going up against Xavier Rhodes in Minnesota. That's an advantage for Julio Jones. And when you look at Julio Jones's game logs last week in and week out, over 90 yards. And when he set the tone early on last year in week 1, he shot over 100 yards receiving. I like that to happen again. Dirk Cutter is back calling the plays for the Atlanta Falcons offense. That means Matt Ryan's going to open it up more. They have a legit running back in Devonta Freeman, so the Vikings defensive back and linebackers can't feed up. This opens the field for Julio Jones to have a big week 1 game against the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's move on, and we'll talk about the Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans, a 7-point favorite. Who do you like in this one?
It's a lot of points, but I like the Saints laying the 7 at home. Here's the thing. Houston overhauled their roster last weekend. They made trades and then more trades and then more trades, trying to figure out how to stitch together an offensive line in front of Deshaun Watson. Watson was sacked a league high 62 times last year. They brought in Laramie Tunsil from the Miami Dolphins, but I don't know if that's enough. I mean, their running back situation is Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde, 2 former Browns. So I think that there's just not enough in front of Watson right now. Plus, the New Orleans Saints pass rush is elite. It kind of flies under the radar, but they're going to bring the heat and say, okay, Deshaun Watson, you beat us with your feet. We're not going to let DeAndre Hopkins beat us. And then on offense, The Texans secondary is still not that great, and Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, they're going to go to work. I like the Saints -7.
And we'll wrap things up with the second of those two Monday night games, the one out west, Denver and Oakland. Denver -2. Who do you like in this one?
Well, we don't know if Antonio Brown's even going to be on the Raiders come Monday. Probably not, right? At least suspended, if not cut. But the Broncos, this game started as the Raiders giving 3 to the Broncos. How times have changed. Now the Broncos are road favorite, giving 2 points to the home team. I still think Joe Flacco, as a veteran presence in that offense, gives them the edge of a completely messed up Raiders organization right now. The last thing the Raiders needed in their final season in Oakland before they go to Las Vegas, the distraction, and that's what Antonio Brown has brought to the table. I think Joe Flacco and the offense scored just enough points to cover the 2 on the road, plus Von Miller. He could make Derek Carr's evening not too enjoyable. Broncos cover the 2.
There you have it. Fowler's 5. We will have Ryan Fowler each and every week with Fowler's 5 this season. Ryan, we appreciate the time very much. So Fowler's 5 brought to you by Presque Isle Downs at Casino, and that's in Erie, Pennsylvania, just a little bit over an hour away from Cleveland. Let's take a look at the Bet America Sportsbook. That's the Sportsbook at Presque Isle Downs at Casino. As you see, the Browns-Titans, Browns 5.5-point favorites in that one. And again, 50 state-of-the-art kiosks throughout Presque Isle Downs and Casino. It's touchscreen, it's easy. You can wager. Sports betting legal just an hour away from downtown Cleveland. That'll do it for us on this edition of More Sports and Less Levine. The Browns against the Titans Sunday. NFL regular season finally underway. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here next week.